What's up, beautiful people? We're out here with the cigar. It's Arturo Fuente special. I've never heard of it. I got it from this Albanian guy. That's a long story. Maybe we'll get into it. But I just wanted to sit here and smoke a cigar and talk. Cigar Talks, whatever. I'm gonna name it that probably. A couple of things I want to talk about, and I thought, what other way than to smoke a cigar and kick back and talk about it. So let's light this thing. I just got this torch lighter because when I went to Africa, I said that weird, Africa. When I went to Africa, I had to throw mine away because I forgot it was in my bag and I took it through customs. So yeah, I took it through customs and I didn't want to get caught with a fucking torch lighter in my bag, so I didn't want to risk it, so I threw it out. And surprisingly, I had another torch lighter in my bag that I didn't know about, and that made it through the airport, TSA, whatever. So, and I still have it. Made it there and back. So, get on your shit, USA, TSA, and customs. So let's light it. Let's go. Actually, you know what? It's already cut, but I always like starting with a cut, so we're just gonna cut it a little more. He also gave me this fucking thing. He hooked me up. Now it's all over. Alright. This is a beautiful view over here. I'll flip the camera later, but let's smoke this. I always take off the paper because, I don't even want to fucking deal with that. So, what I want to talk about is, my last video, it's not my last one, but the cigar video that I posted, a lot of you were asking if you could have a cigar that I made. This isn't what I made, but people were asking if they could have one, and of course you can have one. But the problem is that okay. We're gonna go back. So how I started creating things was I basically so I basically taught myself how to learn how to love creating things, right? Mostly physical things, because I like working with my hands, but I made a video, that's not a physical thing, but mostly the essence of what I do is creating physical things. And I always told myself that I would, when I created something and then it hit, and what do I mean by it hits? I mean that, I've been doing this for a while. That was the first video I ever made that kind of relatively popped off, right? So I've been doing this since I was, I've been adopting this lifestyle, of creativity and creating things and providing value since, I was 15. But I only started making videos on it since I was 19. This thing is not staying lit. What the fuck? So I told myself that when I created something and it popped off and it hit, that's what I mean, popped off, hit, whatever, and people liked it, and it was valuable, truly valuable, not just hype. There wasn't just a stupid hype around it and that fades away, but something that's actually, grounded in something real, is actually quality and class. That's what British people say, it's class, man, you're class. So I told myself that when something hit, I would go all in on that thing, right? So cigars, I guess they hit. I told myself that, but then when it actually kind of happened, I'm like, did it hit? You second guess yourself, because it's is this really worth selling? And that's the conundrum, right? So if I were to sell my cigars, obviously, we have the story around it. I know how to grow tobacco, whatever. Obviously, I wouldn't grow all of the tobacco, but probably not even 1%. But the story is that I know how to grow tobacco, and I was in the field. I'm in the field with it, and I'm hands-on. I know how it grows and stuff. So that's kind of the story around it. And it's just in my fucking backyard. So the problem comes from, can I actually make a high quality cigar that just not everyone likes, right? Because that's not what we're trying. I've never tried to, or I tried to do that when I first started, but then I realized that's not what you want. You don't want to appeal to everyone, right? You're not trying to be fucking Mr. Beast or whatever. Because when you try to appeal to everyone, you appeal to no one. Ugh. Oh, fuck. So the conundrum is, can I make a high quality cigar, that a few people, and when I mean a few people, let's say like true 1,000 fans, that a true, 100, a couple, like 1,000 people truly like. Can I do it? Of course, I believe I can do it. The problem is, how do I actually go about that? Like, how do I go about that? There's a lot. And I told myself I would, even when something hit, which, this kind of hit, I still would never quit creating. Because, the point of money to me is so I can just keep creating. Right? And money is very important. I'm not going to sit here and deny that. I love money. It's fucking awesome. And you know what I'm going to do with it? I'm going to use it to fucking keep creating beautiful things. Advance my work. Heal nature. And be able to meet people that inspire me and help me to create even more beautiful things for the world. And then the beautiful things actually help you do that yourself. I feel like that's, what the hell is that? I don't know what that is. But I feel like that's like just everything. Like, my work can inspire you to do your work even better. I'm gonna see if I can do it now. The rings. Bro. I can't wait to get these braces off. Fucking so annoying. But yeah, no, that's the essence of what I'm trying to say is, I would, making cigars, I can definitely sell them. But I just want to make sure it's quality, right? Because I don't want anything I create, I don't want anything I sell to be shit. And even more than that, I want everything I sell to be of the highest quality. Because when you create things, some things are going to be shit, some things aren't going to be high quality. Because, you're just testing the water sometimes, you're, thugging it out. But when it's time to sell something, when it's time to, really get it out there, you want to make sure it's high quality. Seth Godin, I've read a lot of his books. He's like a marketing guru or whatever. He says that there's not and it's true, there's not a shortage of stuff, right? There's so much stuff, especially in America. You can't get enough stuff. The shortage is of quality. That's where the real shortage is. The shortage is quality, and then stories to go along with that quality. So that's what I've been trying to do for basically like 6 years now, and I've come a long way. So that's what I gotta say about that. Some other things I gotta talk about is I'm starting school. This is a big thing that I gotta talk about, because I want you guys to get to know me, right? Because I do, the nature documentaries, all that stuff. But I also like just sitting here and talking and not having to edit a fucking video and stuff like that. And I feel like this is where the gold is, truly. Because if you can sit through this video, you get value. Even for me, when I sit through an hour-long video and don't put it on 1.5 speed or 2 times speed, and I just sit there for an hour and watch it, or if I'm driving and I watch it, or listen to it, whatever, I gain a lot of value from it. That's why I like YouTube. I feel like YouTube is just king, let's be honest. Instagram, TikTok, people find success with it. I don't like it. I've posted on it. I don't enjoy it. It kind of fucking just takes my soul away, to be honest. Because you have to hype things up. And there's not really a problem with that, but I feel like the focus should always be on the product. And I could be wrong, who knows? But I feel like with social media, it's never really changed my life. Never. It's always been like this quick dopamine hit, and I feel like, this is right. This guy's saying the correct things, and then, you pay for his fucking course or you join his community and it's bullshit. And it's just like, and it's not necessarily that it's bullshit, it's that the value is not what he said it would be, right? He or she, whatever, they could be really actually investing in the community and really caring about it, but social media is hype, right? People go there on the toilet to scroll and to basically eat Doritos. That's what it is. It's like Doritos. And then with longer form content and actual quality products, people are going for the lobster, the fucking oysters, the beef liver, the fucking organic tomatoes. They're going for the good shit that actually heals you and keeps your life balanced. Whereas Doritos will fuck you up. Unless they don't. I know people who eat Doritos, they don't get fucked up. For me, fucks me up. But that's just, how the cookie crumbles. But I'd say for most people, you want the wild caught lobster from the Mediterranean. You definitely do. So yeah, school. Shit. So, I'm going to community college. I finished last year. I took 2 years off after high school. Then last year I finished 2 semesters, and now I got 2 more semesters until I graduate. I fucking hate it. I love the people. Obviously I like talking to people. I like meeting people. But the work is just especially when, you're actually you actually know what you like kind of, and you're working on it, whether it's posting videos or whatever, you're creating things, and then you realize you have to go to school, and then you can't do this because you have to study or else you're gonna fail, and if you fail, you wasted fucking time, so you literally can't fail. So that's kind of what's going on. Yeah, so school is just, a pain in the ass. It's I'm using it as a way to just basically keep my parents kind of tamed down, because like I said, I took 2 years off, but those 2 years off really shaped the foundation of my life, because I didn't waste it. I didn't waste it fucking drinking and smoking weed. I don't think I smoked weed once, or even had weed or a sip of alcohol once during those 2 years. I had it edible, actually. That was my first time doing weed. But yeah, I basically never had it. I used that time to really find out who I am, and to really shape the trajectory of my life without school. Because problem with school, I don't think it's, it's not all bad. It depends on what you want to do. But the fundamental problem is that they don't teach you how to think, and they don't teach you how to learn. And it can atrophy your ability to be effective in life, right? Because it can like derp you out almost. It derps you out because I love that when the cigar like starts smoking everywhere. But it derps you out because it teaches you that learning shouldn't be fun, and that working shouldn't be fun, and that and that learning only happens in a classroom. But this just isn't true. It's just not true at all. School is actually really bad at teaching, like most things they're really trash at. They're good at shoving information down your throat, but I guess they're fairly good at teaching history, but is that even true? I mean, shit, I don't know. But, there's a lot of nonsense. I'm not saying, be illiterate or whatever, obviously I'm not saying that, but, there definitely needs to be changes to how we educate children and people in general. Because, you can't be, so with school, it's there to breed workers. That's the problem. So like, can it ever really replace true learning and true education? I don't know. The only way for that to happen is for our society to change so much and to restructure the whole thing so as wealth and value are more evenly distributed. That's going to take a while. In the meantime, you can pick yourself up by your bootstraps and really create something beautiful. Right? The stuff I talk about, creativity, building things. This isn't it's not a collective solution, because not everyone can do it, because not everyone it's just not everyone's gonna be awake to this. So if you're awake to this, you have to take it seriously. Like your life is on the line with this. That's kind of what you got to do. With everything that you create, really understand that you're basically the universe manifesting itself and expanding itself, right? And of course, if you don't come from like a wealthy family and you don't really have to work, this is your ticket out. Not the cigar, but creativity and self, really providing value and being a high quality human being, an effective human being. And this is why I don't necessarily like the use of weed and alcohol, right? I see, there's benefits. I'm not dumb. I see the benefits to alcohol in a sense where, it socially lubricate you, stuff like that. But, you can overdo it. I drink alcohol sometimes, but it's never really socially. It's more just chilling. It's like once a month. Not even. And weed, the problem with weed is that I kind of have like a cold, weird fucking cold. I don't know. I woke up with like this inflammation in my nasal cavity and stuff, so I'll figure that out. But the problem with weed is that, again, it can derp you out. But when you're young, the most important thing that you should be doing is building the foundation for your life. And when you're stoned, you can't actually do this, because what I've noticed is that weed always feels good, right? Once you get over that initial, first 2 or 3 times you're scared and there's anxiousness. But for most of the time, weed always makes you feel good. It's like a motherly energy, right? It'll always tell you what you want to hear, always make you feel the way you want to feel. And the problem with that is that it doesn't actually promote growth. because growth isn't always, it's not always pretty. Most of the time, it's not pretty. It's ugly. You know, plants are a great analogy for this, right? When a plant is stressed, it actually produces greater compounds that interact with your body and are more effective. So when a plant is grown on the, pushing up through the soil, it has to push really hard. Pause. That plant's going to develop stronger root system, stronger medicinal compounds than a plant that just easy. So that's something to think about. So that's the problem I see with weed. Sometimes I take weed. I hate, I smoked a couple times, but like, even the thought of smoking it makes me want to throw up. I don't know what happened, but like, it makes me want to throw up. So I can really only do edibles and tinctures. So, yeah. What else? I love the support you guys had on the tobacco video. It actually really means a lot. Thank you very much. If anyone's watching this, you can subscribe to my newsletter. We got a lot of value in there. So yeah, quick plug. But link in the description. Or anyways, I should probably like label this video like Cigar Talks or something. Cigar blurbs, cigar babbles, Cigar Talks episode 1. I don't know. Should we do that? Yeah, Cigar Talks episode 1. Let's go. Cigar Talks episode 1. Sounds good. My next hat that I actually make these hats. Not sewn, but like I create the design, and I put it on a hat and I print it. But I'll make a cigar hat actually. That'd be cool. It's so random how I just started getting into cigars too. And now the cigars I make, I'm actually starting to hand them out to people, random people sometimes, and we'll see where that goes. But yeah, I'll definitely set up a shop or whatever, like Shopify store or whatever, and sell my cigars. If you guys really are interested. Like I said, I can either create like a prototype product where it's like, I give you a clarification that I'm still learning on how to roll cigars. They're not perfect, but I'm learning, and that's the story. And then over time I get better, and then whoever buys them grows with the cigars. I think that's pretty cool, actually. I ship the concept of shipping. I ship a product, even though it's not perfect, but then I get maybe a few people to purchase it, and as I get better, my skills increase. It gets better, and they get more value out of it, and they get to go along with the story. So I think that's pretty cool. Excuse me. I think the concept of bootstrapping is important. So what I would say, like when I mean bootstrapping, I mean that you're basically doing a guerrilla style business where it's like, it's just you, like in a fucking garage or whatever, creating things. I think this is like where the best things come from, right? Because it's just you. There's no one really influencing you, and you can do it on low funds. Which is how I've been doing it for 6 years. Hasn't always been fun, but yeah, I feel like when I start making more money, I could definitely do more creative and bigger things, and that's going to be really exciting. There's a lot of projects I'm looking forward to, and I will do them. We're going to do it. But yeah, definitely bootstrapping, picking yourself up by your bootstraps is definitely possible, 100%. And I think it's more effective than protesting in the streets, trying to force social change or whatever. I think that it's much better to actually create valuable things in the world and really create capital, and then create social change through that capital, because that's what drives our current society. So I'm not saying protesting can't be beneficial. I'm just saying that if you were really serious about making a difference in the world, you would say to yourself, how can I create massive value for the world? It's really like that simple, really. And then you take it seriously. That's something that I had to learn through the 6 years of actually taking this on as a lifestyle. I had to learn that you can't create something that's quality if you're not really serious about it. If you're just fucking dabbling around, not really taking it seriously, maybe one day you create something and then the next day you just fucking forget about it. This doesn't work. It requires deep focus and deep work. This is why, social media kind of fucked me up for a while. Because, I was creating on social media, but like I saw the actual work that I was doing was taking a hit, right? My garden, physical things I made, I always had to, fucking record it, take pictures, whatever. And then it kicks you out of the flow state, and then the product isn't what you want. And then along the way, I realized, like, is this really necessary? Do I really have to fucking record every single thing I do? And it's like, no. Because the focus, right? The focus isn't on the hype. With that, it becomes hype. You have to keep fucking being a stripper, basically. And being, monkey, dance like a monkey so people notice you. This eventually fades because there's always going to be someone who's dancing more like a monkey than you. There's always going to be a hotter stripper than you. Right? And if there's a hotter stripper, she can make more money than you. And that's how people think. So that's the problem I see with social media. It definitely has, it's definitely good in some ways. I'm not going to delete it. I don't keep it on my phone, but, and, yeah, like TikTok, Twitter, like, I don't like it. It almost like steals my soul. It steals my soul. Steals my soul. I feel like with my work, of course it's digital, like physical products, but like I said this in the tobacco video at the end. I was like, really the core of what I want to do is I really want to show people that you can literally just create things, like, for no fucking reason other than the fact that you see the value in what you're doing, and then you think that these things that you create can really help other people and really solve other people's problems. I feel like that's like a core thing that life is about. And like I said, the problem with school and stuff and our culture is that it doesn't teach you that. It teaches you to consume, and that, happiness is always on the other side of that hill in the next product or the next thing. And, it's a catch-22 that, you're selling a product, but I think that the difference is, of course, like I said, quality. Like, I feel like selling something becomes so much easier when you really deeply know that the thing that you're selling is really going to help someone. It's really valuable to someone. And it's really, like, good, They really enjoy it. I'd rather die than convince someone to buy a shit product. It's like, This is why I don't really like when people say, you can build something in 30 days. This type of nonsense. You're going to take someone who's never built anything in their life and convince them that they can build a valuable product in 30 days and then sell that product and then just magically make money from it. I'm not saying, of course it's not impossible, but really creating something valuable takes, a decade of work. How is that car even that loud, bro? What the fuck? What the hell? Okay, so yeah, it takes 5, 10 years, like 15 years to really create something valuable, and then you can really be mature about it and then sell a quality product. I feel like that's something I learned, is that I'm not trying to be a fucking influencer. This is retarded. This is fucking retarded. Like, because an influencer's life is like fucking lifespan is like 3 years. They come, they go. Because it's almost like the news. Like, the news gives you shit, and then everyone's so obsessed with about it, and then they forget it the fucking next day because the next thing is in their face. So, like I said, when you build your life around hype and acting like a monkey in front of people, it doesn't work. And I've been guilty of this. But it doesn't work. It doesn't last. What you want is you want to build solid things. Things that really last a lifetime, last decades, centuries. Work that stands the fucking test of time. And that requires focus. And being a free thinker and a creative, just a massively creative person. Like, this is where true joy comes from. It's not in fucking buying things that you don't need. People have everything they need. You have to give people what's truly valuable. So, back to cigars, I believe I can do it. As you guys seen from my videos, I've actually gotten better at the caps. Making the caps, I've gotten better. I was watching some videos, I was working on it. People have like a cap machine like this. They punch a hole in the leaf, like that. I gotta get one of those. But I've gotten better at slicing it with the civetta, like that circle, and placing the cap over it with the glue, and then putting it in the mold, and then it comes out nice. So I'm getting better. So if anyone's really interested in purchasing one of my cigars, I will definitely set up a shop or whatever. And I'll definitely make new blends. I'll buy, obviously I can't produce all the tobacco. Like I said, I can't even produce fucking 0.1%. Let's be honest, just me, but unless I'm being, I'm not, I don't know, but I'll definitely purchase different leaves, different binders, different fillers, different wrappers, and create different blends and different styles and stuff. There's a bunch of different things that we can do. Even like I can create, like, can you put like herbs in the filler, like let's say like chamomile or some shit? I don't know. Just something to think about. But yeah, back to school, it sucks because I'm doing exercise science or whatever, and I gotta take anatomy, and that shit almost fucking killed me last semester. Still got 85. I kind of bullshitted my way through the class though. I won't lie, but the teacher liked me. She didn't even she dropped one of the lowest grades, and I still would have passed with I still would have got an 80, to be honest. But yeah, it was just difficult. And it was difficult not because I didn't want to study or I didn't, have to study. It's because I don't remember. I'm doing it, stall my parents, keep them off from me for a second. But it was difficult because it took away from my other creative pursuits. And I feel like that's the problem with 9 to 5 jobs and getting stuck in what we call wage slavery, is that, you know, it just demoralizes your spirit. It really does. It really does. Really fucking does. And then when you tell people you don't want to live that life, you want to be a free human being, they'll project their beliefs onto you and be like, what are you talking about? That's not possible. They won't, you know, say it like that, but like, they'll say it to you like it's true. Like they couldn't do it, but they don't actually know that this is happening, right? They don't know about projection and psychology and stuff like that. But notice how the people who've always done it will always, you know, tell you that it's possible. And there are people who haven't done it and they'll say that it's possible genuinely. And they'll, you know, take it on the chin that, you know, they just didn't do it, it wasn't interest to them, whatever. Damn. But yeah. You can feel fall in the air. I love fall. But then winter, you know, fuck, I hate winter. But I love New York. I live in New York. I love New York. Definitely, you know, maybe I'll leave for the winters and come back. But, you know, we'll see. Because I love the sun. That's like my favorite thing in the world. And sunbathing. It's just like a different type of high. Look at all that smoke. But yes, school, 9 to 5 jobs, these things like demoralize you. And if you don't have any foundation to work off of, it's not that you're fucked, but like, it's just hard to pick yourself up because you've been turned into just a machine. Essentially, that's what's happening. And the beautiful thing is that you got to catch it early, right? Early in your life. I'm talking about in your 20s, in your teenage years. I caught it when I was I always knew that it was bullshit. Like, I was like, why would I work for someone else if I could just do my own thing, especially in today's day and age? So I caught it really early, but it took me a while to actually put the pieces together. I'm still putting the pieces together. I'm still learning all the time. But, yeah. And some people just never see it, and it hurts. Because, you want everyone to be free, but not everyone can be free. And that's one of my highest values, is freedom, right? Having the ability to buy the things I want, to spend the time the way I want, to be just free. To make decisions on my own time. I'm still figuring it out. But anyways, so yeah, I'll definitely get to making this cigar store or whatever. Maybe, I don't know if I gotta buy a fucking license to sell the shit. I feel like I could sell it on the download to a couple people at the start just to see what's going on, but if I go bigger, I'll probably have to do some stuff. So I hope you enjoyed the Cigar Talk. I like getting on here talking because I feel like talking and being able to free associate and work on your vocal projection, your words, your vocabulary, stuff like that is important for just life in general. Having good vocal skills, verbal skills, stuff like that definitely helps with girls. I used to suck at it. So yeah. Thanks for coming out. Thanks for watching this. If you watched till the end, we're gonna do this more often. Someone actually asked me in my last video. They were like, I want you to create a video where you just sit down, talk and smoke a cigar. So I was like, all right, we'll do it. And I told him, I was like, I'm not going to do that until I age my cigars a little bit. I was like, okay, you're bullshitting yourself. Just fucking get one that you already have that's not yours and just do the video. So I did it. And I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you around. Have a good rest of your day or nighttime, whatever. Have a good sleep. I don't know. And go out there and kill it. Be creative. See the world. And yeah. Peace. Wait. We got to do the cigar thing. Hold on. Peace.